All right, good afternoon. I'm Rick Dancer. We are coming to you live from Cresswell, Oregon. Oh God. You are too cute for words. So we are in Cresswell with our rare disease series. And Jennifer, let me know when that pops up there and we'll be good.
I see it.
Okay, so this is Remi and Remi's mom, Sarah. And Remi has a number, hi Shay, has a number of rare diseases. And the biggest smile on the whole planet. We want to introduce you guys to some different rare diseases that are going on, and this is sponsored by the Adrenal Insufficiency United, right, Jennifer?
Right.
There we go. And they're supporting this. So this is Remi, the cutest girl on the planet. Hi, Christina. Hey, Jess. And you wouldn't know by looking at her, but I guess it's fair to say she's a very sick kid.
Yeah, she's fragile. Yeah.
So tell folks what she's dealing with.
Okay, so Remi is actually still very undiagnosed, but we are looking at possibly a syndrome called Meyer-Gorlin syndrome, and what that means is she was born with the predisposition to have very slow growth in her life, starting out when she was in utero. Some of her conditions as a result of this are midline defects, including a bilateral cleft lip and palate, and including underdevelopment of her pituitary gland. So that includes her endocrine system.
So the endocrine system, as we've talked before about adrenal insufficiency, a lot of times when that gets damaged or affected, then your body doesn't create cortisol, and then you are adrenal insufficient, right, honey?
That's correct.
No, I know that one. I'm an expert on that one thing. Everything else I don't. So the interesting part of this story, hi Remi, it's just beautiful. Christina says you're absolutely beautiful.
Say hi.
Hi all. Shelly's saying hello. So this is Remi. And the part, she is adorable, I know. Yeah, they're loving you. They think you're cute. Oh my gosh. So, so here's the Reader's Digest condensed version, and I'm going to have Sarah share this with you. They ended up in Oregon, had to leave Utah because people were knocking at their door because you have to use medical marijuana in order to make her life painless, right, honey? Less painful. She would be in extreme pain if she didn't have medical marijuana. So tell people what happened.
When the state came out to our door?
Yeah, the state came out to her house in Utah.
Yeah, so they came to our door and they were asking me a few questions. They wanted to know which doctor was managing Remi's care, and I could see that they were going to start really asking some deep questions, and I was pretty nervous. So I asked them if I could go ahead and just stop for a minute and call our lawyer. And I called our lawyer, and with him on the other line, I just went ahead and said, hey, you know what, you guys are going to have to go until we can have my lawyer present. And so they left, and as soon as I shut the door, I just grabbed a box and a suitcase, and I just packed them up and threw the kids in the car, and we just took off. I wasn't about ready to stop her cannabis treatment, and I knew that if the state were to take custody of Remi, that the cannabis treatment would stop, and that was most important to me, more than even dealing with my consequence.
So they actually were at your door knocking, and you have to get them to leave, and then you, as soon as they left, you jumped in the car. She has 2 older children as well, and the 3 of you just...
I had to check my daughter out of school, but as soon as I checked her out of school, we were gone.
So what has being in Oregon and having the ability to treat Remi with cannabis, how has that impacted?
It's changed our lives completely. She's got a little bit of congestion today. She struggles with bronchial disease as well. So it's changed our lives a lot because she used to carry, she has a feeding tube in her stomach, and she used to have to carry a bag around all the time filled with her milk because we couldn't compress her feeds, meaning she just had to be fed round the clock with milk. So that's changed because now she's able to eat meals. She eats breakfast, lunch, and dinner with us.
So and she also has a form of, you said, dwarfism?
Mm-hmm. So she's actually nearly 5 years old. She's quite tiny for being almost 5. But when we started cannabis, she was 24 pounds, and that was a year and a half half ago, and now she's about 38 pounds.
So what changed when cannabis came into the picture? What does that do for her that to explain to people how that helps her?
Oh, okay. So for instance, with her chronic lung disease, she'll get bronchial spasms because her
lungs are smaller, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So the cannabis helps her lungs so that they relax and they can just do their job, which is just breathe in and breathe out. Another thing that it did was give her an appetite, and then it also helped her so she could chew. Before, she could not coordinate a chew. Now she can put the food in her mouth and swallow it and keep it down without, vomiting it up. Another thing that happened that was quite miraculous was she started to walk the very first month that we started this.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
3.5.
she was 3.5 and wasn't walking.
Wasn't walking, wasn't even close to taking a step. She has what they call a left foot drop, meaning her left foot would drag behind, and so she just couldn't. She has hypotonia. She just could not coordinate a move to walk. So.
Oh, honey, you just love seeing yourself there, don't you? Jesse says, I know someone else who has the exact same thing. Hey, Jennifer, would you bring the cannabis oil over here?
Do you mean panhypopituitarism, Jess?
Is that what you mean, Jess? Is that what it is? So this is, hey man, you get your friends here.
Oh, that's my son home for his lunch break.
How many sons do you have?
I have 5.
You have 5 kids?
Yeah, no, I have 8. I have ages 26 down to, Remi, 5 years, almost 5 years old.
Oh my word, they're
I'm a Utah
everywhere.
mom.
So, how are you?
Pretty good, Harry.
Good to
This
meet.
is
What's your name?
Q?
Hi, Q.
Well, Quentin, but I go
Hi, Quentin. I'm Rick, and we're live. So just so you know, so don't get anything out you're not supposed to. Okay. So this is the oil, right? Is this the?
Yeah. So that's actually her THC oil. She doesn't take a lot of this oil. That's their for instance, when I need to really help her with her breathing to relax, I'll give her a drop of that on her tongue, and it really helps open up. She wants to go see Quentin.
Okay.
That's one of her favorite
Well, you know what? I'm
brothers.
going to move because we're getting a weak signal, and so I'm going to take it over here. We're going to come over here. I don't know. We'll get closer to your internet. See, Jennifer, are we okay on there? Okay. So we're still on there. So this is So this is cannabis oil
Freezing.
or THC.
Is it freezing right now?
Freezing. Right now it's
That's the
on mine,
connection.
I don't know if it is on theirs.
Yeah, it's our connection, and we're right there.
Hey, Colby, can you help out with the connection? Do you know how to fix that?
You guys, we know we're getting a little bit of a weak connection here.
Hey, Corinne.
Gosh, it was going strong there.
Let me look and see.
And it may be mine. Oh, now it's going.
Okay.
It may be mine.
No, because it says on mine the connection is weak.
Okay.
You know what, Jennifer? It might be that you need to shut that down. It might be taking too much out of that one.
I'm on a different one.
Huh?
I'm on a different.
Come here, Remi.
Is your phone on? Are your computers on a different one? Okay. So you guys, we're going to keep going. We're thinking we're still on there. Jennifer's monitoring us so we know. So anyway, we've got one. This is THC, and it comes in a little dropper like this,
Down.
and that's what it looks like. And so what do you do with this?
So with that, I'll put a little drop of that on her tongue, just a very small drop. And what that does is it just calms her down. She can relax, and her airway just opens up. THC also helps increase blood flow. So that obviously makes sense when you're trying to get, oxygen from, the lungs over into the heart and throughout the body.
And what is this right here?
That's called THCA, which means it's inactivated THC. What that means is
Let's see here.
there's no psychoactive effect from that. How that's made is just they don't activate the THC when they make it. So you still have the benefit of the whole plant, but you just don't have the activation. Some kids do well with it, other kids don't do as well, and they need the THC.
Shay says on here, I can't imagine how scary that was when the state came. You are an amazing mama. You do what you need to do to help your beautiful daughter.
Thank you, Shay. It was really scary, and even looking back, I forget that, how scary it was. It's kind of hard to look back and remember just how frightening it was if I didn't make that one decision to leave.
Now, what is this? Is this the same thing?
Okay, so that's CBD. That's our best friend right there. We use that 3 times per day.
Okay, and this is activated cannabis extract in organic coconut oil. So,
Yeah.
and so what does that do for Remi?
So that has CBD with just a little bit of THC, and what that does for Remi is when I give this to her, it just helps her in so many different ways. One of the first things that I noticed with Remi was it helped her overall homeostasis, meaning that her body function was just so much smoother. Her temperature control, that's one thing you will have trouble with when your pituitary doesn't work very well. It won't connect very well with your hypothalamus, and so your temperature control is pretty critical. So Remi could not go swimming because she would get really cold really fast, even in warm water. And so that's one of the first things we did when she took CBD, was got her right into swimming lessons.
So how has being in Oregon, how has that changed everything for you guys?
Oh, it's been a relief. Initially, I was really afraid to even try it in a legal state, just because the state came out. I was really cautious about using it. I even stopped at one point, and Remi ended up in the hospital here in Springfield because I stopped. And so I put her right back on it. We haven't stopped again. It's changed so much to just have her be able to eat meals with our family, not carry around an oxygen tube throughout the whole house. Our house constantly just had wires and tubes everywhere because she was connected. So as a kid, she was hardwired to the whole entire, medical, the tubing, the oxygen, the feeding tube. It was just hard on her.
Right.
She couldn't be a kid. She couldn't wander around and play with their toys.
So what is the prognosis for her?
So we don't really know. They think she has Meyer-Gorlin syndrome. So at this point, we don't really know. But her doctors are all very optimistic. They say that she's all there. The neurologist feels that she has really good function. Her speech is quite low, but we're working on that. That has a lot to do with her cleft, lip and palate, the
Right.
muscles and that, the development. But she's coming along.
And is it a long road to hoe for her then? Is it?
Yeah, it is. Because she's catching up on so much. So she was sick, extremely sick for 2 years. And then the next year and a half after that, she still just had a lot to overcome. And then after age 3.5, she just started growing. And so she's catching up on things that she should have been doing a couple of years ago.
And cannabis has made that possible.
Oh yeah. There's no way that you could talk me out of this at this point. I'm
Does
just
it
glad we
bother?
did it.
You were saying to me earlier that it does concern you, the THC, but what else do you do?
Yeah, the reason that I say that it concerns me is there's a couple of reasons. First of all, we don't, we do have testing, but we don't have a lot of testing in our setting here in America. And so I don't really know how THC will affect her brain development because she's still quite young. And I do know it's really good for her breathing, but I don't know much more than that. And so I don't give her very much of it. And I've also heard that sometimes it can be a little bit hard on the adrenal glands, but I don't know that for a fact. So I'm cautious with it.
Right. But when you see her life without that, the difference is it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. There's definitely a difference. There's a very sick little girl. It's just
Rob
astounding.
says, thank you for sharing your story.
Oh, you're welcome.
And Rob
Thanks,
has Rob has a daughter who's a really dear friend of mine named Bowie. And Bowie had cancer and was a tough little girl. And Rob understands exactly what you're going through.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly what you're going through. Great parents, so whatever they can do for their children, keep up the good work for your precious daughter. Yeah,
Thank you.
You guys are very kind. You're very
They
kind.
are, yeah.
So tell me, what are the great things? I mean, how would your life be if you didn't have her? What would your life be?
Oh, it would be so hard. She's brought so much joy. So every day, she's taught me to be a fighter and to really stand up and get out there. I'm sorry, I'm a little
No.
emotional.
You should be. That's fine.
I can't even imagine, as hard as it can be, as tired as I get, when I wake up in the morning and she's so happy and cheerful, it just reminds me that, I have a lot to be thankful for.
Right.
And she just shows me every day what's important and what I need to set aside.
Do you think people sometimes don't understand, especially when it's your own child or your sibling? Because I'm watching your kid over here with her, and he's
Yeah.
holding her around. It seems like your kids are
They
really,
love her.
yeah, very good with her. Rob says, "I wish I could go back, yeah, and use it." Yeah, I would. I understand, Rob.
I wish you could too.
Yeah, I wish Bowie could have had that
Yeah.
as an option for her. You're a phenomenal woman. Welcome to Oregon. Keep being the fighter.
Thank you,
That's
Benjamin.
Benjamin. Yeah.
Thanks.
And Now you're going to make me go.
I know. I start crying.
Came in late. Chris is an expert. Chris McAllister, you need to connect with Sarah because he is an expert at all of this. We're talking THC,
thanks.
we're talking cannabis oil, we're talking a little girl with a myriad of conditions, and this is the only thing that makes it so she can live her life peacefully and comfortably as possible. And Sarah had to escape from Utah because the state officials were
Yeah.
looking for her, and she had to get in a car and bring her family to Oregon because this is the only place she could go to keep her child comfortable, and that's because of medical marijuana. So what do you say to people who still have qualms about this and think, oh...
Well, everybody has their time, so I have to remember where I was just a couple years ago. See you, Q.
See you later, Q. Nice to meet you.
I have to remember where I was a couple years ago. I didn't think it was safe. I read all these studies that said it would disrupt her endocrine system, and that was my concern, safety. I'm very picky on what I give her, right down to her baby milk, everything. So I wasn't going to try it. I thought that anybody that posted cannabis was medicine was just looking for a reason to be high. I had a lot of prejudice, and I've even taken my son down to the police station after I caught him smoking pot when he was 17.
She just outed you.
I have a lot of apologies.
That's right. I never
Yeah.
got caught when I was smoking pot when I was a kid. My mom
Yeah.
and dad never caught. I told them it was hybrid tomato plants, and they believed me.
Yeah.
And my mom says, "How come they never get tomatoes on?" I said, Mom, those are hybrid tomato plants. They don't do that. They don't get. I'm right there with you, buddy.
So I've been quite the advocate against marijuana, but once I realized and I saw it work with my son, he's a combat vet, and I had to go bail him out of jail. I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. I had to bail him out of jail once for hauling through Idaho trying to bring his medicine home. And I was so mad at him. I had to drive all that way just to get him out. Charges were all dismissed, thank goodness. But
So what was it like? What's your son's name?
Colby.
Hey, Colby. So what's it
outing
like
him.
watching your mom eat her words? Is that kind of some pleasure in that? Come over here, Colby. Come here. Come here.
You
Come
gotta
here.
hear my son.
This is
the one
Colby.
I
Come
turned
here.
in.
Well, you got to see this because he's like hanging on and just like taking care. You guys all have the same colored hair.
I know.
Oh my gosh, there's another daughter over here too. They all have the same colored hair. So
Corinne.
come here. Can you move forward?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit there. So tell me about her.
For the most part, she's my youngest sister, and I'm the oldest, so there's a pretty big age gap. But it's tied us older kids back into the home. We want to be around to help out. She's pretty fun. She's taught me a lot about parenting. I have a 6-year-old, so it's to watch those two interact. It's pretty fun.
How difficult is it for your mom? I mean, you see it from a.
It's difficult. It's difficult for me, enough for me to have to come help her from time to time just to get a break. The lack of sleep, buzzers going off, things like that after 5 years or so, it's tiring.
So what are the great things about having this little sister like her?
I don't know. Always smiling. I don't know. She's taught me a lot. Kind of be stronger. I have issues, and then I look at my issues when I look at her, and I'm like, they ain't that bad.
Right.
She's smiling and running around, and why can't I?
Yeah, you see life a little different, don't you?
Yeah.
How does it make you? You're a dad too.
Yeah.
How old is your child?
6.
6. So about in there, kind of in the
Yeah,
same age.
yeah,
So
yeah.
how does that make you? Do you think that makes you a better parent because you understand?
Yeah, it makes me. My son's healthy, so it makes me appreciate that. I know that I could be spending time in the hospital instead. So it's I'm just thankful. I'd say. The odds aren't always in our favor, so it's taught me to be. When I look at him, just to be glad that there's nothing wrong yet, or hopefully it won't be with our genetics, but
Right, because that's another thing that you you bring. Kind of explain that to people. You bring. What is the disease? It's a Is it a disease? Or is it?
Well, there's conditions with under an unknown syndrome right now. They're undergoing testing for Meyer-Gorlin syndrome, which means It's a primordial dwarfism, which means she stopped growing in utero. And it has to do with replicating, cells replicating. So it's right down to the cellular level.
And Connie, there's also some dwarfism and cleft palate and adrenal insufficiency, and it is kind of, this is the thing with rare diseases, oftentimes it brings on a whole host of other things. Really quick, Shay, thank you. Here's what Shay says. Brother, wait, young man.
Brother.
Says, what a wonderful brother you are. Mom, you've done an amazing job. Be proud.
Thank you.
And they have a really nice sister over here too, who's very cute.
Here.
And she's
Yeah, she's so shy though.
she's shy, and she's gonna be. That there's how many kids you have?
I have 8 children, but most of them are adults. People think I must be pretty busy, but I have a 16-year-old and an 11-year-old, and then Remi. So.
And then
they're
all these
my
other ones are
youngest.
the older
Yeah,
ones,
the rest are in their 20s.
Old hat, yeah. So did you guys all you didn't live here before?
No.
So you came here too.
Yeah, I came here a little bit before and used medical marijuana for myself.
Now,
Came back.
can I ask
to-
what? It was,
I have FAP, familial abnoidal polyposis. I'm missing a colon.
oh wow.
So it kind of helps me normalize my diet.
Good.
Also, just PTSD.
Right.
So, but
That
mostly,
helped. Does that help with that too?
yeah, yeah.
Is that you?
I was on a lot of pharmaceuticals before, blacking out, fainting. I don't do none of that now.
So this is way different than
Yeah.
the cannabis, the
It's enjoyable.
THC or the cannabis.
Yeah,
Helps.
medicating's become normal instead of just kind of shunned. When you put on kind of the labels they put on these meds, you're like, dang, am I normal now after all this? But since I've used cannabis, it's a recreational drug too. So it's like it's nice to just be like, okay, it's something easy.
Right. Has that helped you guys too? Because Oregon has legalized this. That you are, just the attitude has changed. Where you know what I mean? Where it's not. I think there's still people out there who don't understand it. But I think there's also you're not. I don't know what the word is.
There's a stigma.
Right.
Coming from Utah, it's still illegal, so someone like me would probably be called a stoner or something.
Right.
Whereas here, I don't experience that. You might see that cliche type around, but that's not the general consensus of
Right.
the community.
So Remi, do you want to wave again? Because you were kind of having a good time there. You want to say hi? There's a whole bunch of people out there thinking you're pretty cute. Yeah. Do you want to wave at them?
Want to say hello?
Want to say hello? Huh?
She's been eating a snack with her brother.
So she's having a snack. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you.
yeah.
And thank you, Jennifer. Do you want to come over here and where to bring Jennifer? Thank you for sharing your story and being brave.
Thanks, everyone. I'll read those comments when I get.
And you guys spread this around to other people because that's what we want people to kind of see what's happening and what's going on with this. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jennifer, move up here.
Okay.
So we'll make you look normal size.
I added some links,
I'm gonna
so-
duck down so I'm your height.
Tippy toes.
So Jennifer is with the Adrenal Insufficiency United.
United,
I always
yeah.
get that part. And they're sponsoring these. And this rare disease series that we're doing. And part of the reason we're doing this is we want to introduce you to amazing stories like this because that's phenomenal.
It is.
And where else are you going to see this? I mean, it's like
Yeah.
Jennifer and I went back and forth going, yeah, no, we can do this. We want
Yeah.
to put this out for people. We don't have to be afraid. This is Get Real with Rick Dancer.
Yeah, and there's so many rare diseases out there that we really want to bring those to light, and you know.
Right. And we're not promoting the use of medical marijuana, but we're showing you that it does help and it does work. And
I'd like to see more studies, and I don't think parents like Sarah should have to flee their
No.
home to help their children. So, I mean, we always say ask your doctor before you try anything, but you know, I don't think parents should have to flee.
No, you shouldn't have to
I mean,
run and leave
that's-
your home. And I'm glad that we're a refuge for people that can go,
Me
a state
too.
where people
Yeah.
can go and have that kind of impact. We're also promoting some bills
Some bills.
in the legislature about rare disease. So tell them about
So I put a link there. We have a hearing on Thursday at 1 o'clock up in Salem for our rare disease database bill. What this bill would do is patients with a rare disease can fill out an online, digital form. I'm not sure. I just have the vision. I don't know how it's going to come out yet. But fill out a form so that if you go to the ER, the physician can look up those specific orders you need and give you the treatment, because 7,000 rare diseases a lot of physicians may not know how to treat that rare disease. They might, standardized care may not be what's best for that patient.
So this would be, so anybody, hi Ted. There.
Hi Ted.
This would be a system set up so that if you, let's say we're in a car accident and you get to
Just
the
like-
hospital,
yeah.
they get your name, you're not able to tell them, I've got this problem. They can
Yeah.
look on a database and there you are.
Yeah, well, that's the biggest fear as a mom. My daughter has adrenal insufficiency, so I met a physician one time who had a patient die on the table during an appendectomy because he didn't know the patient had adrenal insufficiency. That could be my daughter.
Right.
If she goes into the ER and she needs emergency surgery and they can't get a hold of her endocrinologist, she could die on the table without her medication.
So this is something that would protect all of us, and even people with diabetes. I mean, there's a lot of different
There's so
illnesses
many different rare,
that even-
chronic, and we wrote the bill vaguely enough so that it's really up to the patient and the doctor if they should join the database.
So
it
that's
won't be-
Thursday.
That's Thursday at 1 is our hearing. So I put a link there that you can sign your name and what city you're in and then how you're affected by rare disease. You can just say you have a friend with rare disease
Right.
because you just met Remi.
So go on there because that's the kind of thing legislators look for. They're politicians.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for the number of people supporting something like this. So that's how you guys can help is if you know someone with a rare disease or if you have seen this and share this with other people, get involved because that's what we need you to do so that they'll pay attention because they have thousands of bills in their front of them and we want to make sure that this one gets right up there in front of them and that they're aware that there are people here doing that.
Yeah, so that's our big one.
We also are looking for
Sponsors.
I saw someone just a moment ago say, keep sharing these stories because you love these. Well, we need help doing that because the Adrenal Insufficiency United, they've funded some of these, but we're looking for businesses or other people who want to get involved, and you can contact Jennifer because
Yeah.
she's handling
I
that
put my email there.
So you can contact her. Some businesses are giving us gift certificates.
Yeah, so we got a gift certificate from Hop Valley, and I'll be setting that up on our Lane County Rare Disease Day. I think I'll put them there and you can bid on them. So gift certificates, if you have, if you do hair or nails or cars, whatever you do, if you can donate a service, we can take cash donations. We're a 501c3.
That's the Adrenal
tax
Insufficiency
exempt.
United.
So if you, donate to Adrenal Insufficiency United, you can say that it's for our rare disease project, and then we'll put it towards this.
Because we just think it's really important that the messages get out here and these stories like Remi's get out to people like you who aren't going to see this on television or on the news or, on 60 Minutes. And you're our audience and you're right out there. And we think these are local stories. And, there's enough fake news and not good news out there. We want to have real news.
This is real-time
This
news.
is real stuff that's really happening in
Yeah.
our community, and we can really change the way we look at things by being informed and understand what's happening out there.
Definitely.
So, and you guys are part of the team because that's what social media is. So your responsibility now is to go back and find. I'm acting like your father, but that's how I am. My dad was just like this. Go back and find that link she sent to you. And you go find that and get on there and please support the bill. The second thing is when we're done here, please share this on your Facebook page. Share it with as many people as you know because the bottom line is Remi has value. She's important. She's a person. She has a life. And she now is part of your life. And so that means you're just as responsible to share that story with other people. Because if we don't, then we devalue people and what they're going through. And I think it's really super important. You want to be activated, you want to do something nice and good, just share Remi's story because she's an important little person.
I think everybody in the room was crying for part of this story.
I know,
so.
and I loved watching her mom and her sister in the background and her brother hanging on to her. And I mean, what sweet people. And it's not always happy times. I'm sure. I'm sure there's a lot of grief that goes into this too.
Rare disease can be very lonely for people. And
So thank you
So,
guys for supporting this and doing this with
Thanks,
us.
Rick.
I'm so glad we
Yeah.
met. So you guys, we're in Crestwell. Shay says, I can make a gift basket of So Delicious dairy-free products
Oh,
and
that would
free
be
coupons.
wonderful.
Would that help? Yes,
Thank
that
you
would.
so much.
That would help. So contact Jennifer.
Yes,
Her
thank you.
email's on there, so contact her and let her know. Thank you guys for letting us in your house. We really appreciate it. Yeah, come here. You can come in here one more time.
All right.
They
Log
keep
on.
saying our connection's weak, but somehow
Yeah.
we make it. So thank you
Yeah,
for sharing your
Remi's
house
in the
with us.
background playing
Yeah.
somewhere.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, you guys, share this, okay? We'll see you next time. Tomorrow, we're in downtown Eugene. We're talking with the Chamber of Commerce about safety in downtown. New police report came out, said the number of incidents of crime and stuff is way up. And there's a proposal before the city council. We're going to talk about that, but we're also going to talk about some of the things the chamber and businesses downtown would like to see. So that's tomorrow, noon. Get Real with Rick Dancer right here on this Facebook channel. Gosh, I sound like a news guy. All right, I better shut this
I wonder
off.
why.
I'm starting to sound like that Rick Dancer guy. Ugh, I thought I killed him.